No one in Bogotá expected that Jorge Eliécer Gaitán would be gunned down in broad daylight, his life ending on a dusty street that had been echoing with his name for years. Gaitán was not merely a politician, he was the voice of the dispossessed, a charismatic lawyer and liberal leader whose speeches crackled with fury at oligarchic privilege and promises of social reform. By 1948, he led every poll for the presidency, and his rise terrified Colombia's conservative elite, the clergy, and powerful landowners who had long controlled politics and the economy. The context matters. Colombia in the 1940s was a country of stark inequality, coffee barons and hacendados, and a peasant majority pressing against a narrow political order. Gaitán's appeal fused populist rhetoric, anti-imperialist notes, and a promise to redistribute power. His growing popularity coincided with a Pan-American conference convened in Bogotá that April, bringing foreign ministers and observers from across the hemisphere. The city swelled with diplomats, journalists, and foreign intelligence agents. Tension hummed beneath the official hospitality. On the morning of April 9, 1948, Gaitán left his office in central Bogotá to meet with supporters. Witnesses later described a sudden eruption. A single man, Juan Roa Sierra, ran toward Gaitán and fired. The shots felled the leader. Within minutes, the crowd that had gathered turned into a mob. Roa Sierra was seized and mutilated by furious bystanders before police could take him into custody. He was dead before any formal interrogation could reveal motive or possible handlers. What followed is known as the Bogotazo, an urban convulsion of fires, looting, and pitched street battles that consumed central Bogotá for more than a day. Municipal buildings, newspapers, presses, stores, many of them emblematic of the existing order, were torched. Hundreds were killed, and thousands injured in the immediate chaos. The material destruction reshaped the capital and created a political rupture that went far beyond the city limits. Almost immediately, conspiracies proliferated. How could such a high-profile leader be assassinated on the eve of a major international conference without a broader plot? The official line promulgated by the state named Roa Sierra a lone madman, but questions persisted. Roa's swift killing meant no formal interrogation and no paper trail. Several aspects of the handling of the crime scene and the rapid media narrative raised red flags for observers: erratic police procedures, conflicting eyewitness accounts, and the disappearance of crucial documents and witnesses in the hours after the shooting. Several rival conspiracy explanations emerged and endured. One argued that conservative elites, threatened by Gaitán's mass appeal, orchestrated or at least tolerated the killing to remove him from the political chessboard. Evidence cited by proponents includes documented threats against Gaitán and the close alignment of some security forces and conservative political interests. Another theory implicated foreign actors, with diplomats and intelligence services in Bogotá for the Pan-American Conference. Some historians and contemporaries speculated about international involvement to prevent a populist leader seen as destabilizing or anti-American. Declassified U.S. documents show anxiety about Gaitán among American officials, but they do not demonstrate direct U.S. orchestration. Scholars weigh the evidence with caution. There is no smoking gun proving a single, coordinated conspiracy. What is clear is a pattern of institutional failure and interests coinciding. The state's inability or unwillingness to secure a popular leader, the immediate elimination of the alleged shooter, and the political benefits the conservative establishment derived from Gaitán's removal form a circumstantial if compelling mosaic. The consequences were unmistakable. The Bogotazo shattered the fragile political equilibrium and ushered in a decade of rural and urban violence, known as La Violencia, a conflict that cost tens of thousands of lives and hardened Colombia's political landscape. Gaitán's assassination did not produce a tidy answer to who pulled the trigger in the larger sense, but it exposed how fragile democratic institutions can be when confronted by entrenched power, fear, and the absence of transparent justice. Today, Gaitán's death remains both a subject of scholarly inquiry and a moral wound in Colombian memory, a dramatic moment when one man's murder set off an explosion that redirected a nation's history. The lack of a definitive answer about conspiracy is itself part of the legacy, a reminder that unresolved violence can become a force as consequential as any victory at the ballot box.